Sometimes the greatest ideas are not born in boardrooms, but in the humble confines of a college dorm room. Such is the story of Chad Porter, the visionary founder and CEO of CHVD JUSTIN WEARPACK, who during his sophomore year at The Ohio State University transformed a simple observation into a groundbreaking invention. With an eye for the changing landscape of student needs, Chad noticed the shift from textbooks to technology. This observation sparked the inception of the WEARPACK, a revolutionary backpack designed to adapt to the modern world's evolving demands. The WEARPACK redefines the concept of a backpack. It's not just a bag, it's a versatile, detachable front handbag and backpack combined as one, with an adjustable shoulder and waist bag crafted to cater to the tech-savvy generation. From his initial sketches to learning to sew and sourcing materials online, his determination and creativity knew no bounds. Selling 300 units by his junior year, Chad proved that with innovation and grit, even the simplest ideas can evolve into something extraordinary. On this episode of Small Business Big Conversations, Chad Porter of CHVD JUSTIN WEARPACK. Chad, welcome to Small Business Big Conversations. Pleasure to have you here, man. So I'm looking at this thing right now, and I'm guessing this is the WEARPACK. So tell me, what exactly is a WEARPACK?
Okay, so the WEARPACK is the innovation of the backpack. It is a 6-in-1 wearable, interchangeable, modular tech bag. So let me give you a quick demonstration.
First of all, how many times have you practiced saying that in order?
At this point, probably 1,000
Okay.
times. No, seriously, 1,000 times. But let me give you a quick presentation. So, like I said, the WEARPACK is a detachable front chest pack and backpack and shoulder bag, fanny pack all in one. Let me show you how this works. So, in 60 seconds, you can transition the WEARPACK to a fully functioning separate, backpack like this, Cleveland bag, and then you have your handbag with your shoulder strap. So then this interchangeable shoulder strap allows you to essentially quickly turn that detachable handbag to your own shoulder bag or fanny pack. And if these styles are a little too, cool for, our older guests, you can also attach that detachable handbag to the back of the backpack for extra storage. So
Awesome.
One product, 5 different uses.
Well, I want to thank you for showing it off. I think that's the first time we've had an actual product demonstration on the show so far. So, your kind of entrepreneurial journey and with CHVD JUSTIN, the brand, and WEARPACK, the product, began in college during your sophomore year.
Yes.
So what inspired you to kind of take on the innovation of the backpack, something that hasn't really been changed since maybe, other than maybe including a laptop sleeve in it over the past, 40, 50 years?
No, seriously, and it's actually longer than that. It's almost nearly 100 years, I guess. 85 to be exact. But how I came upon this, so my sophomore year at The Ohio State University, I went to the Barnes & Noble's campus bookstore to buy my books for class. Mm-hmm. And after spending my refund check, I was kind of upset. Spent a lot of money on these books. But to prepare myself for economics class that year, had to get good grades, had to get high marks. So that first day of class, I left my technology in my dorm room because I had my books and my syllabus. But then when I got to class, big bulky backpack, ran the first period class, essentially they had switched to a digital curriculum that year. Many of the students had iPads, and they required us actually to download apps, do different softwares to participate in class, different surveys. Well, I left my technology, so I lost points in every class. Literally defeated the purpose of my whole strategy for cool. But then the light bulb went off. Wait, the world is changing. How we learn is changing. How we travel is changing. Why hasn't the most essential daily accessory, the backpack, changed? I did research and found out that backpacks and some of the biggest brands have literally stayed the same the past 100 years. A great commodity product.
85 to be exact.
85 to be exact. But essentially, it inspired me to oh, wait, I can create the innovation of this. So I kind of went back. I had a campus job working in a dining hall, and that's what I used to essentially save up enough money to get an Amazon deal to buy my first sewing machine, and then source various backpack supplies on Amazon to begin the development of a product. one of my economics classes, we learned about the process of manufacturing. So I kind of, started, I designed, started hand designing the tech packs, the system process to develop and put together a product. Basically just like you get a table in the mail and you know how you have 16 steps to put it together, manufacturing process. So I kind of use those steps from my classes to develop it. My uncle, he actually has a dry cleaners in Cleveland. He's been going for some time. He taught me how to use a sewing machine. So then went back, used a campus job, got the machine, learned from my class process of manufacturing, and then over the next 6 months, developed this potential innovation of the backpack in my dorm room. We were able to get some small funding to purchase inventory to test this product. And we sold 200 units, me reaching out, DMing people, and guess what? It wasn't that good. The response was like, hey, man, we see the vision. We love the hustle, but you said you wanted to create the innovation of the backpack. It had no water bottle holders. I only designed it for myself as a male, so for my female friends, it wasn't unisex because it wasn't adjustable. They actually couldn't wear it. So it was a lot of these different things. So instead of kind of quitting, I took all 200 people's feedback, found out the top things to change and innovate about the bag, and then I went back to develop the all-new WEARPACK, in which my senior year, we were able to kind of release this new product. We were able to pick up 2 university licenses, collaborations that year with North Carolina A&T, biggest HBCU, and then obviously my alma mater, The Ohio State University, one of the biggest universities too. So it was a step there. And then during that process of development, we were able to come up with the name WEARPACK. It took me some time, but the beauty in coming up with this name, I was able to use campus resources to find an IP attorney and actually trademark the name WEARPACK, and then also put in a design patent and a utility patent for this innovative product. So it was kind of a journey of development.
Yeah. So you covered a lot there. So let me take a step back, because I'm picturing this sophomore at Ohio State, bent over this sewing machine and trying different fabrics and playing with different concepts. And you mentioned you went through a lot of incremental changes based on feedback and that sort of thing. That's all part of the manufacturing process, but like from a sales process standpoint, you kind of took this grassroots approach to first selling it to or just getting that feedback and selling it on campus and things like that. How did the feedback that you got not only affect the manufacturing process and the things that you were changing, but your sales and marketing approach when you're thinking about building this into a bigger brand?
Yeah, so it was part of my experience. Me studying economics, I had always been very interested in stocks and big companies. So and part of that due diligence to invest, you got to study the businesses, the products, what makes this company so good. And what I started noticing is that with brands, with companies, it's finding great industries and creating the innovation of that, innovating those industries, and then also taking it a step further to also innovate those sales strategies. That's how you can separate yourself and define yourself. So as I was developing this product, it quickly got brought to my attention as my senior year developing this bag. Like, okay, at this point, we've sold over 500 units, but I can't just sell 500 bags one at a time. And after doing the, financial calculations, this isn't something that's going to be full-time with me. I want this business to be full-time. So I did a deeper dive. Who are actually the biggest purchasers and users of bags? And I realized that it was corporate companies, universities. So then that was the first target. Like, hey, if I could get a university to purchase this product and put their branding on it, that might be my opportunity to sell more units instead of just one at a time.
Right.
So it kind of opened my eyes, but also in me starting to study the capital side, like what are venture capital companies looking for? What are private equity companies looking for? I started realizing that the direct-to-consumer approach is not always the best thing because you had to buy inventory. I was a broke college student. How am I supposed to buy inventory? These different things. So it kind of pushed me a step further to kind of see how that B2B process, and it all started, I actually reached out to about 350 schools via email, and only one got back to me, North Carolina A&T, and didn't all really have it together, but I'm just saying, like, I had this innovative product, would you guys be interested in it? And basically They saw interest. It took various like meetings for me to understand, oh, this is a vendor process. This is the licensing process. And once we were able to put those things together, then open the door of, oh, well, this organization purchases these products. And then I'm like, wait a minute. This organization, if I do these different processes now with just one client, wait, I just sold 100 bags to this organization. 100 bags, wait. And so then it kind of changed me to like, I need to focus on this B2B model.
Yeah.
That's how I'll be able to scale quicker without necessarily having a crazy software product in which I can raise, a crazy amount of money to take this. So with kind of building out that strategy, we slowly started to figure out what worked and what didn't. And not saying everything worked, but it allowed us to get one step closer. So then that's when we started itching towards that B2B model, like focusing on organizations that, one, needed bags, and then offering them the innovation of the bag. And then it starts to go like pricing. Are we there? Yeah. Lead times. Are we there? What specifically are they looking for? So in that, process of reaching out to clients, asking clients for feedback, we started to really develop that B2B sales strategy that essentially has turned into our bread and butter, 90% of our business.
So that's your plan to scale. And there's, it's a lot of, seems like from the outside looking in, a lot of learning by doing, on your side. When you're thinking about that plan to scale, you're not just scaling a company, you're scaling yourself and your capacity. So, from somebody that started with the product manufacturing and I'm creating this piece and to creating a company, to creating a growth strategy, how have you as a founder changed through that process?
It's been quite an experience, honestly. I think humility and, recognizing that, hey, I don't know everything. I actually need to find advisors, mentors that can, make my steps that much quicker by giving me good counsel, right? I quickly learned that too, go quickly, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, if you want to reach where you actually are, go together. So I started kind of building the resources of mentorship around me to kind of give me what I needed to get to that next step. So I think it all started, with me personally getting a financial understanding of a business. Like, what do I actually need? Opportunity cost. That's where my, economics background came in. The first 25 bags I hand sewed with friends in the dorm room, some of my college mates will comment on posts because, I had them working, making back. Like we literally had a factory. So, but then I soon realized, man, it took me 3 weeks to produce 25 bags, me sewing 5 hours a day after class and stuff like that. Yeah. This isn't consistent. So then started finding manufacturers. Wait, I get the business, they produce the product, I focus on selling, starting to differentiate that. And then as we started to essentially develop the sales strategy working with corporate companies, custom artwork, custom designs. I can't design all of these different things for clients. So then I started building a design team. So started working with, college designers I was working with. Hey, I have a cool product. You want to design this? So I started getting clients. We had a design team producing it. Now we had a manufacturing people making those products. And now it's developed to the point where we're not only just hiring a design team, we have a sales team to help us obviously reach out to clients. Now I can focus on this subset. They can focus on this they can focus on that subset. And then all the way to, the accounting. It was kind of difficult, right? But to figure out the actual processes, I had to rely on, resources, networking. Was able to find someone that has been able to work with us pro bono and put us through the steps. Because essentially, and this is sometimes not always easy to grasp for all entrepreneurs, starting entrepreneurs, not all help is financial. Sometimes people's time is more valuable than actual money, right? So I talked about intellectual property. How is a college student able to afford to get 3 trademarks and to put in 2 patents, Well, I was able to build a relationship with an IP attorney who saw promise. I had $0, but a cool prototype and all this work. But, she actually gave me an opportunity, for a pro bono rate of, I would say, let's just say, I got a very good cost. I was able to put this intellectual property in that has now essentially secured our product to help build this monopoly that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, back then, I could have been like, hey, invest in my company, right? I need this or that. But just that relationship, her helping in those capacities, we were able to put in stuff now that has, increased the value of our business, especially what we're doing now. So realizing that not all help came. And then even some, business connections. How to set up your business EIN numbers, things correctly, get that credit.
Yeah.
What is needed to set up a good financial history to get loans? Everyone says, go get a business loan. Go. You need to be bankable, right? These are things that are not openly spoken that your mentors and people will help you to build out to actually reach success, And also angel investors, people to take a risk on you for perhaps no return. I think that's also sometimes what, especially young entrepreneurs, what we forget about. You're taking people's hard-earned money that they probably will lose, in all honesty. So understanding the fiscal responsibility to actually do your numbers, actually do the ROI.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of with our programming now. We can talk more of what we're doing in high schools and things like that. Actually teaching pertinent financial literacy to businesses. Sometimes it's like, hey, we wanted this $50,000. We don't even know what we're going to do with it.
Right. Yeah.
You couldn't even tell me the strategy of what you were actually going to invest in to make more money. That's why you're not getting the money. But these things have to be explained. So to kind of circle back to where you said, taking the time and humility to actually ask questions, listen to the feedback, and recognize that all help wasn't just financial to get to this point.
You mentioned in there the importance of the team and the team that you're building. I want to touch on that. And I want to just dive into, I know we got the 30-second preview, but a little bit more about the WEARPACK and the branding and some of the partnerships that you're developing. So we'll answer all those questions in just a minute. We'll be right back on Small Business Big Conversations. Stick around.
My name is Valerie Mayen, and my business is the Yellow Cake Shop Clothing Company. We have been operational since 2009, and I really didn't see some real actual growth until I started working with Jumpstart. When I learned how to actually keep track of my expenses and set actual goals, I was able to discover so much more that I was capable of that I didn't realize.
Jumpstart provides capital, services, and connections to help entrepreneurs grow. Get started today at jumpstartinc.org.
We are back on Small Business Big Conversations. Chad, I know I said that I wanted to talk about the importance of team because even though you started doing it all yourself, you can't scale that way. 100%. So talk a little bit more about your transition from kind of the doer to the leader and the different elements of team that you are kind of surrounding yourself with.
It's been quite a development. We've been at the point now where 5 years into the journey, I've had to learn a lot of leadership skills, but also good team building skills, building the right people around you, identifying the right people you need to work, separating friendships from business, separating, bringing on people that are actually smarter than you and not getting offended because you don't know everything, right? Building those type of skills. So I would say in this process, it's been a lot, recognizing the right people. As we started to identify, especially the team now in the growth phase, I started to realize and invest in those that were giving, they weren't just saying yes. They were actually giving critical feedback, because in this game, you'll start to realize that critical feedback is way better than people just saying yes and agreeing to everything. One, because you only have, this is not, you're getting real people's money. This is not, something that you can mess up now and come back to later. No, you have to keep it effective. So having people that will shore you up and build you up and actually give you the critical feedback that are going to help you reach success was huge.
Was that hard for you? I mean, for you, especially as a young entrepreneur, you talk to a lot of serial entrepreneurs, and the second, third, fourth time around, it's a lot easier because you trust people, you trust these experts, or you hire someone and you've gotten really good at hiring, and you hire an expert in marketing, or you hire an accountant or something, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. But when you're early on,
Startup.
when you're young,
Yeah.
especially if you start a business as a teenager, right?
Yeah,
Because you know everything when you're a teenager,
yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah.
So yeah, talk about that a little bit. Like how did you kind of get over that hurdle of the difficulty of receiving criticism?
Yeah, and it was difficult, but once I realized that I actually wanted to succeed, that's what some people have to realize. Do you really want to win? And if you're not winning, there has to be a reason why.
Yeah.
So clearly, if you're still not winning or where you want to be, and you're only following what you keep saying, at some point you got to look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm following my own path with no advice. I'm not getting where I want to be. Maybe I should listen to the critical feedback. And then I started doing it. Dang, man, you were actually right. You know what? Let me bring this guy closer because he was, doing those things. This is startup. Startup is all about you not having the resources, but using the resources around you. So 9 times out of 10, the people that are best to be on your team bring value and critical feedback. And sometimes they'll do it for free. Those, I'm trying to tell you, those are the people that you want to keep in. The ones that probably were working pro bono before. The ones that saw the vision, saw where they could help, and loved what they were doing so much that they're willing to pick you up. As I started to outline those people, the hard workers, the ones that got here and made a change immediately, I started being like, dude, that's great. Let's invest in you. And as I started to identify those relationships, see, here's the thing. You should never pay somebody for work that you're doing for them. So if you have someone in a specific role, if I'm doing your role, that's not going to work. You have to find people that are doing stuff you're not good at and are manageable to be able to keep it at a high rate. If I have to consistently that's not the right person. Yeah. I have to find people that are self-motivated and passionate to do stuff at a high level on their own, and just identifying the right partners. Instead of just having someone that, oh man, we have a great time. Oh, this is so cool. But their work ethic is terrible. They miss meetings. They're not on time. They're not serious. The moves that they're doing are not in line with your business. They're actually bringing you down. Every person on your business should be leading you up. There should be an ROI. You should be able to chart, man, they brought this, they brought that, they brought this, they brought that. They should be taking a load off your shoulder, right? It talks about branches or trees or things like that. You're supposed to kind of cut off the bad branches, cut off the bad fruit, because that's going to kind of mess everything else up. So I started to kind of look in those pimples and just recognize, even with our new partners, I decided to bring on some people that are a little older in the age. I'm 24. Brought on some partners, 75. Why? Well, they were part of a multi-million-dollar company that exited.
They lived the life.
They lived the life. Yeah. And sometimes it's easier to say that, man, I just want the guy that I can hang out, but you're not growing. Growth is uncomfortable. So I had to realize to put the people around me that challenge me to grow, that give me insight that I've never heard before. And as I started to look at it that way, we've been able to really bring on solid team members, also people that fit the culture. Yeah. The culture. I came to college on a scholarship, worked a campus job while sewing. Hey, I was clearly self-motivated. Yeah. I wanted to see this happen. I like working with people that have that other, hunger and thirst, because we're speaking the same language. We're trying to go to the same place.
So that drive, though, is a little bit different when it's your creation. True. And it's your idea. What are some things that you do to help create that cultural alignment, or things that you're looking for in others that create that cultural alignment to, ensure that they care close to as much as you care about it?
Well, you find the right value principles. Some people, it's like they want some equity. Some people, they want to be paid at a certain standard. Some people just want to make sure that this role is theirs. I've been able to realize that some people kind of recognize what they do best, and if you put them in that position to win, there's room to grow. Even in sales is all about production at the end of the day. If you have an identifiable system, it's all about people that believe in with it and are willing to put in the work to make it happen. So I think that making sure those compensation metrics and everything are aligned, you know, and by doing that, they're going to reach where they want to reach. Like, let's per se, there was a young designer off of a podcast that I did. He reached out to me via website twice, you know, hit me up via DM. Like, dude, you know, I was so inspired. I made a hand sewed a backpack in my dorm room after hearing what you did. Send me a picture. Literally sent me a picture. You know what I did? Well, he's working on the team now. I hired him.
Excellent.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he was in college doing the same thing. Look, 3 emails, that's something I would do. Right? I started identifying people that was his passion. This is what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
So now gave him an opportunity to do what he loves to do. And guess what? He's getting paid for it and is growing with our company now. That's kind of what I'm saying. You find people that are already hungry that say, man, this is my dream. And if I can provide that in this space, give it to them in the most equitable manner, but show them that you're holding a high standard. Sometimes when people see you as the leader, putting in more work, executing at a high standard, and delivering on your promises, that starts to build a culture of, man, let me do the same thing, and perhaps I might be here too.
So, I mean, there have been nuggets of wisdom all throughout this conversation. I really appreciate, one, you taking the time to sit down with us, and two, really thinking, you know, intentionally about a lot of these questions. You sound like somebody who's older than 24 years old. What advice would you have to somebody who is, you know, right out of college and maybe they're just creating a startup or starting out, to at least not to get where you are or to, you know, to scale at a certain rate or anything, but to have the mindset that I think you have going into all this?
So one thing I recognized early is that nothing worth having is easily gotten. You know, during my time in high school, I had the pleasure of, you know, being a part of 2 state championship teams, and I saw the grind, I saw the hassle, I saw the work. You know, that kind of instilled, you know, principles in me. Even I'm a small business kid, you know, let's just say my, you know, dad he's been in business 55 years, you know, so he's an old guy, kind of why I act this way in a sense. But it's not always about that. It's about kind of learning the principles and being realistic. If it takes 4 years to get a high school degree, it takes 4 years to get an undergrad degree, why would you expect to have a successful business for it to take less than 4 years?
Yeah.
This is just being realistic. You know, if you've ever achieved anything, you've seen that it takes time. It takes work. If I would have got what I got now 2 years ago, it would be lost already, probably in the 2 months since I got it. I didn't build the right skills. Things really need to take time for you to develop. So one thing I would say is, one, be willing to put in the time and effort to be good at what you want to be good at. Why not want to be elite at what you're doing and put all the time to understand it to the best of your ability? You know, and once you make that in your mind that I'm willing to put this time in, guarantee you'll be successful, because you just said that I'm willing to do what it takes. Perseverance. You know, perseverance is key. Being willing to work hard. We got some opportunities simply by me keeping my schedule of waking up and sending emails at 8 a.m. and following up, right? Not giving up. You got to follow up. You know, you got to do these things. So choose those. And then also, I would say, building a community of people that actually want to see you win. This is hard to do sometimes. And you have to decide what seeing you win is doing. But I guarantee you, if you surround yourself with people that want to see you win, guess what? You'll probably win. It's just sometimes what's comfortable for us and what's not is actually not surrounding ourselves with people that build us up and actually want to see us win, can see the potential. If you hang around people that don't see you as where you want to be, they don't see you what you want to, they don't actually want you to get there, why you're not going to reach? You know, I started identifying, you know, people that I wanted to be around that were speaking the same language, and we started growing together. They were able to support me in the stuff I'm doing. So building that community of people that want to see you win, that support system, understanding that it's going to take a process and time to do it, and then starting. Yeah. Put it on paper and start, even if it sucks.
I think if anything comes out of this, it's going to be I'm going to get you on motivational speaking gigs across the country. I want to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit more about the product, because I know you did the demo. It's the first time we've ever had the product here in studio. We've had people on this show from lots of different industries and things like that, but nobody ever brings the goods in. So I'm excited to have this here. So tell me, why should everybody have a WEARPACK?
So one thing I'll say why everyone should have a WEARPACK is, one, we need to step into the innovation. It's all about the next thing. And I would say our value proposition is pretty solid. Mm-hmm. Why buy just a separate backpack, shoulder bag, fanny pack, handbag, or chest pack when you get one product and get it all in one? Not only would I say that is our great social impact and mission. So from you all supporting us, it allows us to do our community engagements for free, allows us to do our student engagement products, working in the community for free. Actually, this Cleveland bag, if you would believe, a percentage of every sale actually goes back towards local youth entrepreneurship organizations within the city of Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we're putting into our thing. Awesome. As we scale this, patent pending product that's going to disrupt the backpack industry, well, why not give back and impact the community doing it? Why not? Mm-hmm. It does. It could just be, if you're selling millions of a product, it could be 2 cents, it could be $1.
Right. Sure.
But man, that's a big impact
Adds
at
up.
a large scale, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that we wanted to start from the grassroots. So you're not just getting the innovation, the next best thing, but you're also impacting all the organizations that we work with. And just to share a bit more about that, so since starting, we've had the pleasure of selling over 5,000 units so far. We've collaborated with about 12 Division I universities, now 3 national fraternal organizations. The highlight of that collaboration is our collaboration with Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority. Okay. They're a Divine Nine Black sorority organization, but they actually gave us a Tier 1 license. Loving the story, obviously wanted to support a Black young entrepreneur, which is true. Sometimes I think that, a lot of times we say that we want to support stuff we say, but actions speak louder than words, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that, they actually moved on their commitment to support young entrepreneurs. And because of that, we've seen a very successful collab. So with that, we were actually their Tier 1 bag vendor. We're able to replace some, very well-known bag brands. But 22% of that, total collab goes back not only to their organization, but their social impact mission. And that's what we're trying to do, make a great impact, but also get our product out there. So when they're both tied in, I feel like every collaboration we do is a win. And I can't wait to see more.
Chad, this has been a very deep and insightful conversation. I really appreciate it. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with the lighthearted part of this conversation, right? The Fast Five, our lightning round with Chad Porter of Chad Justin and WEARPACK. We'll be right back on Small Business Big Conversations. Stay tuned.
My name is Chanel Walker. I am the CEO of Professional Inspiration, and we empower educators so that they can thrive in their profession and not burn out. Jumpstart has helped me go from just a teacher who had a dream to be an entrepreneur and help educators to a businesswoman, which has just been so impactful.
Jumpstart provides capital, services, and connections to help entrepreneurs grow. Get started today at jumpstartinc.org.
All right, we're back on Small Business Big Conversations. Chad, we've come to the Fast Five, the lightning round, my favorite segment on the show. Here's how this is going to work. Okay. I'm going to ask you 6 questions. You have to answer 5 of them. You get 1 pass. Oh. But if you answer all 6, you win a prize. Hey. And since you mentioned this earlier, we have no budget for prizes. It's never anything great. I'm going to get you a Jumpstart water bottle that you can put inside the WEARPACK now that you have the water bottle pocket on the side of the WEARPACK. All right.
Branding.
All right. So first off, question number 1, what is the most common myth about running a business?
Overnight success.
The easy answer on that one, right? What is something that you believe that you think most other people would disagree with?
It's all about, your mindset. It's truly, bricolage. that is using the available resources around you to solve an idea or create something. The word wouldn't have been created if the inventors of the word had all the resources they needed, but they had the mindset and, the inspiration to kind of make it happen out of nothing.
If you weren't an entrepreneur, what do you think you would be?
A professor.
Any particular subject?
No, I don't know yet, but yeah.
What famous brand would you love to partner with?
I would say Nike or Puma, 100%.
All right, Nike or Puma executives. They all watch this show, by the way, so we're gonna make something happen. What is your favorite Cleveland sports team?
Cleveland Browns.
Oh, that's easy, right? That was quick.
Kind of upset, but
all right, so we'll see an orange and brown one here probably pretty soon in the pro shop. Sort of thing.
I'm a Cleveland sports fan. I only obviously the Browns, the Cavs, the Guardians, and Ohio State. Let's build it.
So last question, you're gonna get this water bottle. So round of applause for you. What from all the mentorship and all the partnership that you've received, what's maybe one line of advice or one sentence that has always stuck with you?
Having humility and being thankful for each step you get. Because when you're thankful about all those around you, the people helping you, those around, you're going to work better, right? When you take things for granted, I feel like that's the difference. So I would say just being thankful.
You ended on a deep note again. I thought this was the lighthearted part. No, man, this has been absolutely great. The product is the WEARPACK from Chad Justin. And there it is. We'll show it off one more time. And Chad, I really appreciate you joining us today. This has been an absolute pleasure. And I wish you the best of luck on growing and scaling. And we hope to see every logo in the world on these things eventually.
You spoke it into existence. I agree with them. Every logo in the world.
My guest today has been Chad Porter of Chad Justin and WEARPACK. You can visit his website at chadjustin.com. That's CHVDJUSTIN.com. Or follow along on Instagram. Thanks to Chad for joining us today. Thanks for all the folks here at VAR Studios for running things on the production side. Thank you to everybody at Jumpstart who makes all of this possible. And while you're here, please don't forget to subscribe to Small Business Big Conversations right around here, wherever that button is on YouTube, or you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Freddie Coffey with Small Business Big Conversations. We'll see you next month.